ESPN 2. Go ahead with questions for Coach Babers.
How long did it take you to come down from the high of winning the Indiana game and then refocusing and realizing you have Wisconsin next?
Well, based off the press conference, I went in that press conference probably with a little bit too much emotion from the locker room. I was really, really excited for the kids. I mean, that's a big thing for them. So we need to come down from that. Practice, we felt practice yesterday did not go, was not as good as I would have liked it to have been. And it's probably a little bit of a hangover from a win. And when I say hangover, I don't mean anything in the bad frame, just being slapped on the butt and how everybody talking about how great that win was. And now we have another opponent in front of us that's an even bigger task because we'll be playing on their home field. So it was exciting, but we've got to get over it. We've got another game to play this Saturday.
There's no ladder that it's tough to get up like you did 2 weeks in a row. Does it help that you're playing Wisconsin to be able to get yourself refocused, you think?
I don't know. They're really good. I mean, I might think of some other teams that we'd want to play, but they're a very good football team. I believe they're ranked in the top 20. Everybody understands how physical they are. I don't believe they've lost to a non-conference opponent since 2003 or something to that effect. I think it was UNLV that went up there. But it's just a very, very difficult team to play, and it's a very difficult team to beat at home. I've been up there as a part of Big Ten staffs, and I've never had a win in Madison, Wisconsin. It's a very difficult place to play.
And like when you're at Purdue and you go up there and you know what Camp Randall's like atmosphere-wise, how do you replicate that in practice? Because the guy said you've been outside, and do you have any plans to go inside and crank the music or anything along those lines?
We're going to do some of that stuff. There's no doubt about it. It is a very noisy place, electric atmosphere. We'll do all the things that we need to do, but it still doesn't really give that place its due. It's an extremely noisy place. It's a very difficult place to play for opposing offenses.
Talk about the running backs. I mean, the last two you just saw with Indiana, now Gordon with Wisconsin. You guys got your hands full the last 2 weeks with those guys.
Yes, sir. Yes. Gordon's exceptional. I mean, he's a Heisman Trophy guy. He's a guy that's up on the list and one of the best running backs in the country. And the guy from Indiana, I told you guys how good I thought he was, and I wasn't blowing smoke. You saw what he did here on the football field, and he's going to continue to do those things no matter who he plays. Gordon is probably a step above him, and it doesn't really matter who Wisconsin plays. He's going to get his yards, and he's going to do the things that he's been doing all his life, and he'll probably go and do those same things on Sunday. I mean, he's an exceptional tailback.
Coach, you said you learned how good your rushing defense is after playing two tailback play type of opponent. What did you learn from Saturday's game about defense?
I learned that our rushing defense was very good in the first half and not as good in the second half. No, I'm just playing. I thought our defense did a fabulous job on them. I really did. The numbers and all that stuff, I know that looks yucky. I get that. But you're talking about a really, really, really good player. And it's hard to keep a good player like that down. I mean, Michael Jordan's going to score. I mean, that's not the issue. He's going to score points. It's what everybody else is going to do. LeBron is going to score points. Okay, now what is everybody else going to do around him? And I thought our Russian defense played well. I mean, if they didn't play the way they played in the first half, we wouldn't be happy. We wouldn't be happy here today. I thought they did a great job. And we need them to go and give that type of effort again, like they gave in the first half up in Madison.
So with that said, is your kind of goal is to, wrap up Gordon when you can, but stop the other guys around him?
I think that unless Gordon wants to have one of those days, and Lord knows he probably can, he's got the ability to have it. I think that's the safest bet, is to realize that he's going to get yards, that he's going to have some success, but try to keep everybody else's successes to a minimum.
Coach, when you talked about practice yesterday, not meeting your standards, in what ways? I mean, sloppiness or lack of focus? What were the ways?
All those things. I thought we were a little sloppy. I thought there was a lack of focus. I thought that that's why I use the word hangover. It's probably not a good word, all the things that go on nowadays. What think about with that, but just not as sharp. We were sharper the week before, and you run 113. I'm talking about mainly the offense. You run 113 plays on offense, and you should be a little bit sore, but you should be able to do things right. And I was a little disappointed with our mental toughness, and brought the kids up and talked to about it after practice. And I expect to have a better practice today.
Your big line from the press conference after the game was that you wanted them to feel you late in the game. Is that kind of the mindset now? I mean, when you get to Wisconsin, you try to keep this thing close at half and keep yourself in the game somehow late. Is it the same mindset going into this one?
These guys are good. They're really good. Wisconsin most likely is better than Indiana. So, and now we don't get the opportunity of playing in front of our home fans and have our home crowd. We got to go play them with their crowd. It's a much, much more difficult situation. I hope that we can stay close to them. You guys, I'm telling you the truth. They're a doggone good football team. That's why they're ranked in the top 20. I mean, this is a tough task.
Coach, is there a challenge from defensively switching from playing a spread offense and a more up-paced offense like Indiana and going to a more physical offense in Wisconsin?
Ask the question again, please. I missed the first part.
I said, is there a challenge? Is there a certain challenge that comes with us playing a spread and really fast offense in Indiana and then going to Wisconsin and playing everything?
Wisconsin's a little bit different than the old school Wisconsin. They're running a lot of different formations. They're doing a lot of things that are unusual. They're taking their heavy packages and breaking out in no back and one back sets. They're doing things that's not traditionally Wisconsin. There's been a change in that program since, I can't say his name, Bienema. Since he's left, there's been a change in that program as far as some of the philosophies of the things they do on offense. Now, that being said, they still have all their offensive linemen are still 300-pounders. All their fullbacks are huge, and they can still come downhill and run the football on you. So it gives them an extra added dimension because they want to try to throw the football, and they will try to throw the football, but they still have that power running game, which makes them really, really tough to handle.
When we're judging the defense, especially, for example, if we're judging a pass defense, sometimes media and others who may not be in the know are judging by what the DBs are doing or are blaming the DBs for failures. In a running game, sometimes we look and see, well, is the line doing its job or whatnot? Can you talk a little bit, though? It seems that it's an 11-man fit to do those things. Can you talk about the things that you need to get from an 11-man defense to stop the run, stop the pass?
Sure. I think when you're committing that many people to the box to stop the run, you're putting obviously you start with your corners. You're putting your corners under stress. And if they decide not to run the football and play action pass or drop back to pass, there's only going to be a limited amount of time that defensive back's going to be able to stay with that wide receiver. And you need, as we say on defense, you need to get home. If we've got that many people close to the box, and if it's a pressure situation, they need to get home. If it's not a pressure situation, they need to get out of that box to give that give that defensive back help with that wide receiver. There's no doubt it takes 11 to stop a good running game or 11 to stop a good passing game, but it has to all be coordinated. And everybody has gaps, everybody has fits that they need to be in based off of whatever that running play is. And that's where the difficulties start. And that's where the offense starts to get their advantage because they know what they're going to do before the snap where the defense doesn't.
And when you say getting home, you mean getting to a more typical or traditional position like a safety cheating up in the box, moving back, or what exactly do you mean?
When I mean getting home is if I'm playing coverage and there's no free safety in the middle of the football field, that I can probably stay with that receiver maybe 2 seconds before there's going to be some kind of separation. Something needs to happen to disrupt that quarterback so that he can't throw a perfect pass to that wide receiver. That's what I mean by getting home, a defensive lineman, a linebacker if it's a pressure situation. Somebody's got to get into the quarterback's face. Somebody's got to hit the quarterback so he can't stand back there and be comfortable and throw a perfect pass. That's what I mean by getting home.
Home is where the ball is, basically.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Last time you guys went on the road, it didn't go so well. Will you do anything differently, or is it just too small of a sample size to be able to say that going on the road was an issue?
No, I think if you want to be a good football team, you have to find a way to win on the road. I told our team, right now, we're not a good football team. You can't be a good football team unless you win on the road. When you win on the road, that proves to everyone that no matter what situation, okay, that you can go and take your football team, move it into an environment, and win. Okay, so right now, we're really good at home. Okay, we're really good at home. We're undefeated at home. But if you want to be a good football team, you got to find a way to win on the road. You don't get that definition unless you win on the road.
It has been a bit of a roller coaster ride this year, Coach. I mean, we don't want to talk about the first game of the season, but certainly that was a low point for the team, talking about, you know, the kids, the psyche, the coaching staff, and now we've been to the mountaintop as well. Do you struggle a little bit with that, trying to keep the kids on an even keel, or do you use last week's win as kind of an adrenaline to perform better at Wisconsin? How do you handle that?
Well, I'm married a long time. When I do wrong, I try to let it go. And I think there was wrong done the first week, and we got to let that go, and we got to move forward. And we try to build off of our recent successes because that's what people nowadays mostly remember. And we had a big win. It was a good win. It was a gracious win. And now we're trying to move on with our season and see what we can do on the road versus Wisconsin. And it's a huge task. It really is. This is an excellent football team, and I think you guys all know that out there. If I'm not mistaken, they were picked to win the East in the Big Ten. So we know they're good. We know they're really good, but you know, I guess we have a chance. So we're going to go up there and see what we can do.
How's the health of the team, Coach? You came out of Indiana with a few bumps and bruises. How's it look for this Saturday?
Not good. We lost another defensive starter. I'm not at liberty to say because I don't want to help out the opposition, but we lost another guy for a period of time.
Coach, at the end of the press conference, and after the Indiana game, you talked about how big the win was for the community and the school. Have you been out around campus, around the city, and if you have you seen a change in the atmosphere and the excitement around the team?
You know, I'm glad you asked that question. It's twofold, so I got to answer both. First of all, no, I have not been around the community at all. I went to my office, showered, got through talking to you guys after the game, went to the parking lot and talked to some of my coaches about the game, positives and negatives, because they were out there with their families, went home, went to sleep, and I've been working all week. So, no, I haven't had an opportunity to get out in the community. But I did ask the players that yesterday. I said, how's the community been? How was it, you know, when you guys, you know, after the game, and you guys have been around for 2 or 3 days? And he said the community is excited. It's a buzz. They're all excited about the game. They're all fired up for the next home game. And you can see the respect in the players' faces of having people tell them, hey, you did a great job. You did a good job. You've rebounded. You guys have turned this thing around. We really appreciate the way you guys play and the effort that you put out on the football field. And it's always great to see that in young people's eyes because those are the reasons why we do things that we do. And, you know, to see those young men tell me those stories about what's been going around in the community in Bowling Green made me feel really good. And it was time to go back to work. So it's time to go back to work and see what we can put out there as a performance Saturday.
Anything else for Coach? All right, thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you. You guys